Welcome to Dump Truck Toolbox. I'm Alan, and today we're talking cash buy-in. That is, how much money do you really need to start your hauling business? So it's cold and clear today. I'm hauling dirt, and we're talking dollars and cents about the cash buy-in that's necessary to start a hauling business. This question of how much money you need to start a hauling business, the simple answer is much more than you think. The biggest startup expense for most people is going to be the down payment on a dump truck. A typical down payment might be 20%. If you have excellent credit and maybe even some experience running another business, hauling business or otherwise, a bank or credit union might take more of a chance on you, which means they require less of a down payment. And so some people can get a down payment of 10%, but 20% is more typical. And it could be even higher if you've got some credit problems in your past. Okay, so the type of truck you buy is going to really be important here. You can buy a brand new truck, and typically I use this example of a 2024 Mack Quint, just because that's the truck I would buy if I were starting a hauling business. It's going to cost you about $250,000 new, and 20% down payment would be $50,000. If you get it for 10%, it'd be $25,000. That's still a pretty good chunk of change. Now you can buy a used truck for less, and there are trucks out there available for maybe $150,000. Maybe a little more for a really good, recent used truck. And you can go online. You can find trucks well under $100,000. The trick, though, is the older the truck, the more likely you are to have maintenance issues. And so you may not put as much down on the loan, but you're going to need to set aside more money to cover unexpected repair costs. After you get the truck, you've got to set the truck up. It's going to need some initial work. Even a brand new truck. My business, my employer recently bought a couple of brand new Quints, and there's just some tinkering that had to happen with the bed and a couple of other things. So you got to have some extra money for that. You buy a used truck, it's likely to have more problems and might need more initial setup expenses. Then you've got other startup costs. You've got to do registrations. You've got to get your hauling authority. You got to make a down payment on your insurance. You need to talk to your insurance agent to see what that would be like. You're probably going to have to pay 3 to 6 months ahead at a minimum, and sometimes you may have to pay a full year ahead on your vehicle insurance. The next thing you need to set aside is operating expenses. And so people who've hired dump trucks do not pay you in advance typically. At a minimum, you're going to have to wait until the end of the week, and that's really the best case scenario. So you've got to cover your fuel, your labor cost, tolls, or anything else that's a per mile or per hour cost for the vehicle. The best case scenario would be that you have to cover 1 week of operating expenses. I think that's going to be pretty rare. You're going to probably need at least 2 weeks. And in some regions, you bill monthly, and then your hauling client, will pay the bill 30 days net That is, once they receive the bill, they have 30 days, and then they'll pay the full amount. And some may do 45 days net. As you're planning to start a business, you need to be building relationships with the people who use dump trucks, the materials yards, general contractors, paving companies, whoever it is, and talk to them about how they pay their hauling bills. They probably have a set procedure they use, and you're going to have to plan around it. And you've got to set aside those operating expenses as part of your initial buy-in to the hauling business. The last item is an emergency fund, primarily for maintenance and repairs. It's easy to skip over this, to say I don't really need it, but I would strongly argue that you need to have enough money set aside. So if something on your truck breaks, if you have a minor accident, tires blow out, you're able to get it fixed and get back on the road. You may say, I have insurance to cover my accident. Well, yeah, but it's going to have deductibles. If you have an incident, if you have an accident, it's going to have deductibles, and then they may not pay right away. You may want to proceed with getting your truck repaired while you're still negotiating with the insurance company. Because when your truck is parked, you are not earning money. You're still making your truck payments. You've got all these other expenses you're covering. If you have an emergency fund, you can make the repairs and get back on the road faster. So, add it all up for your situation. Figure out the truck you want, how much down payment you need, what your operating cost would be for a week, insurance, everything else. Add it all up, and then tack that emergency fund, the business savings fund on top of that. It's going to be a large number, and I want to coach you that starting a business is a risk, and you've got to figure out what level of risk you're comfortable with. If you try to avoid all risk, you will continue to sit there putting more money in the bank and waiting and waiting and waiting, and you may never get to the point of actually buying a truck and starting your own hauling business. So you got to figure out your own tolerance for risk. Truth is, entrepreneurs do fail, and sometimes they fail once, and next time around they've learned enough that they succeed the second time. So failure is not the end of everything. You might just have to reset, start saving again, and do it a second time. But be wise about the risk you're taking, and that's likely to maximize your chances of succeeding in the hauling business. If you found today's video useful or interesting, please click on the like button, subscribe, comment below, love comments. This is Alan. I hope to see you again soon on the Dump Truck Toolbox.